In this video, I'm going to be going over the TubeWriter 400 software and how to adjust the standard settings so you can optimize your media files for the best prints for your samples. So this is what the home page of the software looks like. You'll notice you've got a load text, print tubes, and cancel button, as well as a media drop-down menu and a image preview. If I were to hit load text, you'll see that it pulls the text from my Excel spreadsheet and puts it in that image preview. This media drop-down menu is where you're going to select what media file you're going to be using for what rack. It'll tell you the number of tubes you're printing as well as the number of racks you'll need to print that amount of tubes. If I were to hit print tubes, it would initiate the printing process with the machine, and I can also hit the cancel print button to cancel any print that's actively going on. All right, so on the home page of the software, you'll see at the top it says Advanced. We'll go ahead and click the Advanced button, and that drop-down menu will pop up, and we'll select Rack Settings. Right here, that new window will pop up and show you a plethora of settings, as well as the image preview, drop-down menu at the top to switch between different settings, some save as, and cancel buttons, and directional arrow keys over here. Can be a lot to look at first. If you look at that top drop-down menu where it says setting selection, you can filter between standard settings, advanced settings, element 1 through element 5. These settings are pretty nice. It kind of cleans everything up and it's easier on your eyes to find what you're looking for each element. And then lastly, there's the fonts only section if you're just looking to change the font of each line and the font size pretty quickly. But for this video, we're going to go over the standard settings. Like I said, there's a lot to look at here, but I'll go over a couple important ones. That first one is going to be the starting X position and the starting Y position. You'll see they're all in number formats. They work on a coordinate grid, so the higher the number is for the starting X position, the further to the left your text is going to be whenever you print on your tubes for that first tube position. Same thing for the starting Y position. The higher the number it is in this setting, the higher your print is going to be in the Y axis for your first tube. Starting position X and starting position Y both correlate directly to the first tube that you're going to be printing on the rack. Other important settings are going to be the distance between columns and distance between rows. These are also in a number format. The higher number you have for distance between columns means the text is going to be pushed further out between the columns if that number is a higher number. If it's a lower number, then the text is going to be squished more close together in terms of the distance between those columns. Same thing for distance between rows. The higher the number, the further the text is going to get pushed down as you move down the rows. The lower the number, the higher up the text is going to be as you move down the rows. A couple other settings are the numbers of rows and numbers of columns. These correlate directly to what rack you're using, so you'll want to confirm that these numbers reflect the accurate number of rows and accurate numbers of columns on that rack. Some other important settings are going to be the up, left, right, and down buttons over here. If you have message selected in the message dropdown and you click any of these buttons, you'll notice that the text in the image preview doesn't actually move, but when you actually print, the text will have moved where it lands on the tubes. If you want to move each line individually, you can hit that drop-down menu and go to element 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll select element 1 and hit left a couple times, and you'll see that that line 1 of text has moved in the image preview. If it's on message, it's going to move the text on every single tube for the rack. Some other settings are going to be these plus and minus buttons right here. This allows you to zoom in and zoom out of that print image preview. If you have any line of text showing similar like it is on my screen now, where it's kind of cut off on the far left side, the far right side, the top or the bottom, then that's how it's going to print. So you want to make sure that the entirety of each line of text is showing in the image preview so it's not cut off. That's one way you can move the print location for each line of text. Another way is to find element 1 through 5X or element 1 through 5Y. They're also in a number format. Right now it's set to 30. If I change that to 100, you'll see that my line in the image preview moves over further to the right. If I change it lower to maybe 10, you'll see it moves more to the left. Same thing with the element 1 through 5Y. Right now it's set at 110. If I drop that down to 50, you'll see that that line 1 of text moves higher up in the image preview. If I change it to 200, you'll see that it gets lower. Another important setting is going to be the element number 1 font type. It's a drop-down menu with a ton of options that you can choose from. All the way at the bottom, you'll see there's an option for no text, and when I select that, the line 1 goes away. But what's nice about this is you can select any font and get a quick example of how that's going to look whenever it prints. To change the font size, you'll look for element 1 through 5 font size. Right now it's set to 45. If I change it to 100, you'll notice that that line 1 gets bigger in the image preview. If I drop it down to 20, it gets much smaller. Most people typically stay between 40 to 60 for font sizes, but that's largely dependent on the type of tube you're printing on, how much space is available, and how much data you're trying to print on the tube. So you might have to tweak some settings to get the proper font size for the tubes that you're printing on. There's a couple other settings that you'll see here, like element 1 through 5 barcode type, barcode scale, and image number, but we'll cover those at a later video. Other than that, you've got the save, save as, and cancel buttons. If you hit the save button, it's going to override whatever media file you've selected and change those settings. If you don't want to change the settings, you'll just hit save as, and a file explorer window will pop up, and you'll rename the file to whatever you'd like. Hit save as, and once you've done so, the rack settings window will close, and you'll get a pop-up that states that a new media file was created. Let's say you make a change and you forget what change you made and you're not sure, you can just hit that cancel button or the exit button, and none of those settings are going to get saved. So you can just jump right back in and start from scratch. And that is how you navigate the standard settings in the TubeWriter 400 software. In the next video, we'll be going over the advanced settings and how you can adjust those as well.